Did you know there's a tiny Greek island where people routinely live past 100, and their secret might just be honey? In this video, I'm exploring Ikaria, one of the 5 blue zones, to uncover why raw, wild honey is part of daily life for its centenarians, and how you can tap into the same longevity boost. Stick around, because by the end you'll know exactly what honey to look for, why 99% of supermarket jars are simply a scam, and at the end, I'll reveal the perfect honey, the one I've personally been using for years. Disclaimer: I'm not a qualified healthcare professional, and the information provided is for educational purposes only. Ikaria, honey, and longevity, the island where people forget to die. Ikaria, a remote island in the Aegean Sea, is one of the world's 5 official blue zones, regions where people routinely live past 100 years old, with almost no trace of heart disease, cancer, dementia, or depression. In fact, Ikarians are nearly 3 times more likely to reach 90 than Americans. So, what's their secret? It's not just one thing, it's a way of life. They walk steep hills every day, not because they need to exercise, but because that's how they get around. They live stress-free lives. Naps are normal. Time feels fluid, and strong social connections run deep. They drink herbal teas made from wild sage, rosemary, and chamomile, many with natural anti-inflammatory and immune-boosting effects. They fast regularly, eat whole foods, and stay deeply connected to their families and neighbours. The result? Ikaria has some of the world's lowest rates of heart disease, dementia, depression, and cancer, backed by clinical data, including the 2011 Ikaria study published in the Hellenic Journal of Cardiology. But among all these habits, one stands out above the rest: honey. They eat raw, wild honey daily. Ikarians don't just use honey as food, they treat it like medicine. A spoon in the morning, stirred into herbal tea, or drizzled over natural dishes. It's woven into their rhythm of life. So what makes their honey so special and different to the average honey you see everywhere else? It's never heated, filtered, or diluted. The bees forage on over 30 wild plant species, from thyme to heather to arbutus, given a rich profile of polyphenols, flavonoids, and natural enzymes. It's naturally organic, since the flowers that the bees forage on are grown wild, therefore no herbicides, pesticides, etc. Nothing is removed, not even the pollen. So you get the full spectrum of healing compounds. And again, studies like the 2011 Ikaria study back this up. The island's population shows significantly lower rates of heart disease and cognitive decline. And honey may play a role in this. So now you've seen how honey fits into one of the healthiest lifestyles on Earth. Let's break down the real science behind it, what raw honey actually does for your body, and why it's nothing like what you'll find on supermarket shelves. The benefits of raw honey. Anti-tumour potential. Emerging studies on honeys like Manuka and Chualang show that they can inhibit the growth of certain cancer cells, possibly by suppressing blood vessel formation around the tumours and reducing inflammatory signals. Powerful antibacterial action. Thanks to enzymes like glucose oxidase, honey produces its own low-level hydrogen peroxide, and in some varieties, extra compounds like methyl glyoxal in Manuka that even beat antibiotic-resistant bacteria like MRSA. Cough and throat soother, which many people already know. But clinical trials actually confirm that a single teaspoon before bed can actually outperform over-the-counter cough syrups like dextromethorphan in reducing nighttime coughing, especially in children. It coats the throat and eases irritation. Brain and cognitive support. Packed with polyphenols, quercetin, chrysin, chemophorol, and phenolic acids like caffeic acid. Honey's antioxidants help protect neurons from oxidative damage, which is another word for aging really. Early human studies hint at improvements in memory, mood, and mental clarity, especially in older adults. Wound healing and skin repair. On burns, ulcers, and even diabetic foot wounds. Medical grade honey, like Medi-honey, speeds up tissue regeneration, reduces inflammation, and creates a natural microbial barrier with minimal scarring. There are 13 plus scientifically documented benefits backed by studies, from supporting healthy cholesterol and liver detox to gently regulating blood sugar when used instead of refined sugar. If you want the full deep dive, check out my first video on honey. I'll put the playlist with all the videos I've made on honey on screen at the end. So, pretty powerful, right? But here's the problem. Supermarket jars don't deliver these benefits. In fact, they often do the opposite, spiking blood sugars, damaging your gut microbiome, and contributing to inflammation. The honey scam. Why almost all store-bought honey fails. Okay, you've seen how powerful raw honey can be. So why doesn't your supermarket jar deliver any of those benefits? Here's the ugly truth. Out of every honey I've ever researched, over a dozen brands, I've only ever found one that's genuinely perfect. And it isn't hiding on your average shop's shelves. Let me give you just a quick peek behind the curtain and stick around because I'm diving into this in detail in an upcoming video. You won't want to miss it. Imagine your honey being labelled as raw or pure and then finding out it's really just sugar syrup. Most people assume store-bought honey is healthy, but here's the problem. If the honey is not organic, you can be getting honey with antibiotics and chemical residues. Conventional hives often receive antibiotics, and bees forage on pesticide-sprayed fields. Residues of tetracycline, glyphosate, neonicotinoids, and other agrochemicals can end up in your jar. Sugar syrup and economic adulteration. To stretch supply and cut costs, many producers blend in corn syrup, rice syrup, or other sweeteners, so you're paying honey prices for mostly sugar water. And it's even been documented that companies do this without any labelling or ingredients saying so. Regulatory blind spots. The FDA tests less than 5% of imported honey shipments. One lab study even found a batch that failed the European Honey Directive for HMF levels, yet it still hit the supermarket shelves. Okay, so then people think, I'll just buy organic honey. Problem solved. But even organic honey can be compromised, like everything today. Just because a honey is labelled organic, it doesn't mean it's untouched. All it means it's original form, like how the honey was got, like from what plants. All it means is that them plants were organic. Everything after that, or many things, it doesn't matter. They can do a lot to it. High heat pasteurisation. To make honey look crystal clear and delay crystallization, brands heat it above 60 degrees C, killing enzymes, destroying antioxidants, and stripping away pollen, so pretty much killing all the benefits. Ultra filtration. Superfine filters remove pollen, the only way to trace the honey's botanical origin, and can mask adulteration, turning real honey into a bland syrup. Empty calories and health risks. Once all the nutrients are gone, you're left with nothing but simple sugars that spike blood sugar, promote insulin resistance, contribute to weight gain, tooth decay, and raise your risk of diabetes, and even certain cancers. Exactly what true honey helps protect against. And most people have no idea, because the jar still says organic, pure, natural, or even raw. But none of that actually means anything without the nutrients and benefits intact. That's just the tip of the iceberg. As I said, I'm working on a full deep dive into the honey scam, how to spot fake honey, decode labels, and protect your health. Subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss it. Alright, we've uncovered Ikaria's honey secret, explored its powerful benefits, and exposed why almost all store-bought honey fails, often doing more harm than good. Now it's time for the fix. Now it's time to deliver on the promise I made at the start of the video. If you want the best honey out there, I've found the perfect one. The perfect honey. And when I say perfect, I mean it. This honey is raw, never heated or pasteurised, preserving enzymes and antioxidants. Organic, sourced from wild, unsprayed flora, unfiltered and unprocessed, keeping all the pollen, nutrients and natural integrity. Unadulterated, no added syrups, sweeteners or extenders. Unblended, not mixed with other batches or foreign honeys, uncontaminated, free from chemicals, antibiotics and residues, ethically and sustainably harvested, no clipped wings, no forced feeding, just nature as it's meant to be. This is the honey I've used for years. I've even got my dad on it. It literally tastes like sweets. I go through a jar about every 2 weeks. I actually just ran out yesterday and I've saved this one to keep it new and not used for the videos. And yeah, it's that good. I just have it all the time. I've put the link right at the top of the description so you can check it out for yourselves. If you want to buy the honey, the link is top of the description. If you learn something new, please like and subscribe to keep learning. If you know anyone that's interested in this kind of content, please share this to them, as it really helps me out. I'm working on a full deep dive into the honey scam, how most honey is fake, and how to spot the real stuff. So if that interests you, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss it. If that video is already out, or you want to watch my full breakdown on honey's benefits, the playlist will be on screen now. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. And remember, stay positive, even when it seems everything is against you.